the Euro team. Welcome back to Alessandria. Welcome back to 1970. Right, before you just have a quick look at things, not a lot has changed. But before you have a look at things, those of you who were paying attention will have realized that I lied at the end of my last episode when I said that Casalvecchio was the only place not getting anything. Of course, Civitella wasn't getting anything either. The fact that I put in a farm here making moo cows, and the fact that I was supplying this place over here with moo cows, wasn't giving Civitella anything at all. So I've changed that. So as you know, we were supplying this place. So what I have done is this is another way to do these cargo stations. So this is now an undercover thing. It's got its pluses in that it's like this is a finished good and they want to keep it undercover, and that kind of makes sense that they would have these long metal roof sheds. It looks like a metal roof shed, not asbestos cement. So it would make sense that they would have this stuff here, and you can see it's in timber crates outside, so you don't want to get wet and everything else. So that's all fine. So that now has an extra rail line, and that rail line peels off, and it heads up here, up along the side of the river, and it goes all the way up here, and it connects in here, and it goes over our little bridge. And it goes all the way up here, all the way up here, all the way up here, all the way over this bridge, all the way around here, and all the way down here, and supplies this place with things which are being stored here. And this is this the truck that's doing it? He's carrying 20. That's probably fine because it takes ages for the train to go all the way back again. Which one is it? It's not that one. That's the tanker one. It won't be on that line. It's not that one. Where is he? Did we go past him? Can I even see him? He's actually this guy. He's actually this guy, is he? This is the guy that's actually doing that route. No, that's the supply route. Where is he? He's not a big train. Sometimes they hide. Sneaky things behind bushes and such like. Here he is. This little fella here. This little fella. He's carrying me meat. However, the problem with this thing, and let this be a lesson to you, is because I put the station on this side of the industry, not this side of the industry, this has caused me no end of troubles. Which is that the industry doesn't pick stuff up that's dropping here because I haven't actually connected the road properly. If I'd connected the road properly, it wouldn't be an issue, but it is an issue. So what happens is, and this is complicated, what happens is that the cargo is dropped off here, which is then loaded here, which I then have to get this truck to pick up and carry and deposit here so that this can make it. Then that has to produce it here, which then gets carried here, which gets picked up by the train here. Were you following that? I hope you were following that, because that's why you don't want to do this. So don't do this. Anyway, that food that you can now see outside here, I don't think I can do a. I can't do a cover for these. I could put in a little building and I could hide that stuff under the building, but anyway. That food here then goes on a train. That train then brings it down here, and then this cargo picks up that food and deposits it at Civitella, which hasn't happened yet. But it will happen. At least I hope so. Have I set a food train up? Is it this guy? No, that's the coffee train. I may not. No, I must have. There's the first food train. So that first food train is carrying food to Civitella down here. So there you go. What else has happened? Oh, you may have been paying attention because you're a canny bunch. Look, roundabouts have happened. I did tell you these things have happened. Something else has happened. So this is roundabouts. So I put roundabouts around about my towns where it made sense. So I don't know how unforgiving or forgiving this traffic is. I mean, there's really not a lot of traffic. If this was City Skylines, you'd already be clogged with traffic by now. Um, so there's not a lot of traffic, so that's perfectly fine. You probably don't need roundabouts. If you want to put roundabouts in, great. They're a bit clunky because it's effectively just a bent road, so it still has all these zebra crossings on them, pedestrian crossings. Who's going to want to go in here? Nobody. This should just be a straight through. You can't get rid of that. Um, but if you want to do roundabouts, then jolly good. It gives us some things to detailing around roundabouts and various other bits and pieces. You got these buses that are coming in and going out and going round about. Um, yeah. Why didn't he use the bus lane? There's a bus lane here, which still permits him to go all the way around, but for some reason he wants to use the middle one and then use the bus lane. I don't know. Anyway, roundabouts. You'll find those under road. They're under street constructions. They don't insert. So you do have options. You can decide how many lanes you want. Roundabouts are one way, remember. They're not two-way roundabouts. So roundabouts are one way. You can have 1, 2, or 3 lanes only. You can mess with the radius. You can make this kind of a thing, which is like that's a very big roundabout. People spend an awful lot of time going around a roundabout that size. So I find that anything like for certainly larger roads, anything less than about 20, 25 looks a bit clunky. This is a 20. It looks different when it's down, but you know that's fine. These are intersections, which if you don't know about intersections, if you did City Skylines, you do. So this is in relation to motorway intersections. I'll just plonk this down here. So this is a highway. This is a train track. This is what we would call, well, this is what would classify as a main highway, motorway in the country where I live. But most other cases, this would be a dual carriageway, right? This is a road, which is heading out that way, coming back this way, and it's only separated by white lines, right? There's no... You can cross accidentally from one end to the other. They're incredibly dangerous, which is why we have loads of them in a dreadful road fatality statistics. This is a motorway. This is a motorway because there's a lane that goes this way and there's a lane that goes that way, and you cannot cross them. There is no way to cross them. So on this kind of a road here, this is the kind of junction you get. You get traffic lights, dual carriageway, traffic lights. So when this road meets it, you come out, you can go either left or right on green. Oh, it did go green just as he arrived. Okay, so you can go straight ahead on green, or you can turn on green. There's no turning filter here, so that's fine. On this kind of motorway, you can't. So the problem is, if you want to get off here, and for this one, it's go this way. That's fine. You just peel off and you head down and you go down this way and you go off into wherever you're going, and that's all perfectly good. On this side, if you want to get off there, you can't. You can't just cut across. So you need to get off, and then you need to go around, over the top, and down here. Likewise, when you're coming back up here, if you want to go this way, it's fairly straightforward. You just go on down this slip, and as you join it, and away you go. If you want to go the other way, you can't just go left. So what you have to do is you have to come up here, and you have to go that way. Oh, sorry, wrong way. For this one, if you wanted to come off, you'd be coming off this side. And you'd be coming off and going up and around that way. So this is like a modified T or something, I think is what you call it. Anyway, so if you wanted a motorway... this would be the junction to enable you to get off on one side of the motorway. Oh, I can't delete the whole thing. That's just... We're gonna work on this delete thing. Right. The other one is this thing. I'm not putting this down because it'll take me an age to put it in place. This is what we call a cloverleaf junction, or a modified cloverleaf junction, because it's got a 4-leaf clover in the middle, right? So this is connecting two motorways together, so that any person coming from any direction can get to any other direction. So if you're coming up from the south, you can head east or west or carry on north, and all the rest of it and everything else. So there's a whole load of slip lanes and various other bits and pieces like this. This is one of the worst junctions in City Skylines. Never build this kind of a junction. They always end up blocking up. They're nasty because you've got two slip roads that block each other's paths, which is just not the kind of thing you want to do. Anyway, we could do that. Not with the big one, not with Cloverleaf Junction, and with the T. The other issue, which is kind of a bit of an annoyance with this, because there is another way to do this with slip lanes. I don't think you can do it in this game. Is if you want it off on two sides, you'd have to put one on this side, and then you'd have to flip it around, and on the next one, so you'd put them back to back, and you got or side by side, as the case may be. There's no other tools. There's just things for traffic. What's this? Traffic lights. Upgrade streets with traffic lights, which is great. I think I've already got traffic lights. I don't know why would I need it. Is it down here? All right. So if we wanted traffic lights at this junction, for example, we would go here to our tools, and you could say, I want to put traffic lights there. And boom, there you go. It puts on a whole section of traffic lights and pedestrian crossing lights. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe it's messing with your traffic. Maybe your traffic's messing with people. Maybe people are messing with your traffic. I don't know. I've not seen. There's a lot of people here. I've not seen a need for that yet, but maybe there is a need for it. Anyway, roundabouts. So roundabouts, we could do motorways if we wanted to. I had to do a little bit of jiggery-pokery here because the road ran right along the edge of the field, or should I say, I built the field right along the edge of the road, and then I decided that I would put these roundabouts in. So I did that. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. We'll tidy it all out in the wash. I just put two roundabouts here. I've been cutting off some of the accesses because I don't want people doing this. The game keeps doing this. It keeps adding in these little connecting streets to what is a somewhat faster road. So these are quite close, and because they're close, the game automatically wants to put things in place. I don't know if there's a way to stop that. I think maybe I might have to build something in the way. I think, because if you remember my little park, I think if I build something there, if I place something there, it stops that from happening. So let's do a little tester on that. We'll get our assets down. The sugar maple is the biggest tree. We'll just put it down to 1 tree size. And I'm just going to put a tree there. Actually, I realized that that's in the space for a house. So I'm going to put a tree there, and a tree there, and there, and a tree there, and there, and a tree there, and a tree there, and there, and hopefully that stops it from making little roads, because I don't want that. The whole point of having this is you're directing the bulk of traffic down the main street, and then it comes into the main city, and you've got the main. If they want to pull off at some other point, that's great, but I don't want continual traffic lights. It's just going to be a nuisance. Look at this guy. Look at this guy over here. My town is expanding beyond the road. That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. So that's an interesting conundrum here, because this is a main road, mate. So yeah, so it's interesting how the town is deciding to grow. That's my dog. I'm gonna have to. I might have to do something about this. Might have to play with this a little bit. Not as a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I'll just have a little tweak with that, because if I put a road down here, then I can get this being colonized by parts of the town, and then this is the old road running through the town. It's going to play havoc with my emissions, but I'm not averse to that as a thing. I think that's fine. If that's how the game's going to organically grow, that's all good. So yeah, so that's it. That's where we got to. I haven't done any other detailing on anything else. I went all around the game and I looked at all of the other transport networks and everything else and tried to balance everything out as much as I can and have a look at this and have a look at that. This productivity thing, 22. So it says 22, and the reason I think it says 22 is because the demand here is 22 and we're more or less meeting it. So I think what this is telling me is Do you remember where it says shipment? How many units per year are shipped to other industries or town? This only wants 22. I wonder if I set up another route. uh, what would be easiest? What would probably be easiest? Ozano's already getting fuel. I think they're already. Where are they at? 96. They could do with more fuel. So I could maybe, because there's a line here, over here. So there's an existing rail network over here. So I could maybe connect this over here and run another train down and drop off fuel here as well, and see if that increases this number. That might be something to try. All right, sorry about that brief interruption. So Casalvecchio, we want Casalvecchio to get tools. So rather than have this rather tortuous, convoluted route around these mountains in an area that is already congested, what we're going to do is this forestry over here is going to supply wood to a sawmill that is going to be built next to the old, what is this? The old coal mine, which no one's using. And then the timber from the sawmill we're going to take across to the tools factory, and the tools factory is going to supply Casalvecchio with tools, and we're going to tie in on some existing lines to do that. So the forestry is going to tie in on this line. It can come up here. It can tie in through the coffee line and come out here to where this timber is going to be. We're going to have to build a bridge across here. We're going to tie into this newly created line that we have here. We are then going to have to take another junction off, and we're going to go back around here, and we'll drop off the tools here, and we'll possibly be able to just use the existing loop line and add in another spur to bring it back. So we'll turn this into a bit of a loop, and we'll be able to get a tool production train doing a little bit of a loop around, and we'll be able to do some timber, right? So that's the right. Welcome back. Right, so here we are. Pretty straightforward. Nothing strange, startling, or fascinating, to be honest. We have the station here, which we're going to go through detailing in a minute, and we've loaded up here, and we've got this guy. Now he's already like 110. He's just filled up. There's already 149 there. The log producers produce a lot of stuff. So he's heading out 110. That's fine because there's another 110 coming back, and I haven't balanced the lines yet. So there's still work to be done, and we can see that our meat is still. That needs balanced. Oh my gosh, there's an awful lot of meat. Is this guy just going out, or is he just dropped off? He's just dropped off. That's the meat guy going out. I've got him at 54. He needs to be a lot bigger than 54. Anyway, I digress. Of course I digress. Right, we came over here hard left. This is a hard left. This is, yes, slow corner. So hard left. Big straight dash through the coffee, round the corner, another hard left. Putting in a lot of hard lefts. It's going to slow us down a little bit, but there you go. Straight in here, drop the logs off. Boom. Next to this quarry guy, which you haven't sorted out yet. So drop it off at the sawmill. That's great. And you can see we're already producing timber. We've already got some timber there. Hardest left you can do. This is as tight a turn as you can get. And you cannot, well, I can't make this double flip switch work here. So I've had to wait till the straight, which is fine. Hard straight over here, over this bridge. You have to jig around with the height. I think, would I be right in saying that this is a 4? So as I'm sure you know, because there's levels of up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It goes pretty high. Anyway, so when you're doing a bridge, unless you want a humpback bridge, and that's a tricky enough prospect to try and make, you'll see the map does something kind of good here. This is below ground level. So this is below ground level, and then back up on ground level. So this gives you something to work from in terms of like where you want the bridge piers to be, right? Anyway, If you want your boat to go past it, it needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It needs to be 4 up, right? So for my boats to go past it, 4 up. So I had to do 4 up. Now something else that has just cropped in is the bridge. I can now change the bridge to a concrete bridge if I want, 320 kilometers an hour. I like the detailing on the side. That is so very similar to a bridge I actually know. That has some detailing like that, which is very very good. So we could do a concrete bridge if we wanted to. The thing is, it's like $671,000. I mean, that means nothing to us, and we got nearly 130 million. But I left that in. See, you got wider spans, less piers, and so on and so forth. Look, we'll leave it where it is for now. All right. Bring in here. So the key here was trying to get levels, obviously, in the bridge, which got better at doing, to be fair. So then we come through here, quick jiggery pokery, join this line. This line is a standard line, by which I mean heading out on the right hand side. So he heads right on the right hand side out here to the tool factory, and that's where he stops. The tool train heads off the other way and follows the oil loop all the way around, and then loops back in here. I changed this and added a cargo stop, which is just plain. It's just a plain unadorned cargo stop, which is perfectly fine. And then obviously I need to get that to the places that want it. So I put a little cargo stop in here. You can delete the side. It's a bit janky. That's why I put the trees around it. But I'm happy to know that these houses are coming in already. Which is not too bad. So this might get populated by houses, which is fine. And then there's a little truck which takes it over to here, because this is the commercial and industrial area where everybody wants the tools. And there's my little chap right there. So there we go. Casalvecchio is getting tools. Not a lot of tools, 5, but it's getting some, and hopefully that will help grow it a little bit and get it on its way. Now, the train then runs out of here and it runs back into this line here, and then there is a loop that loops it back. Now you'll remember, because I initially did this as a loop, I've got a third rail, and the track runs the wrong way, and it's all a bit weird and everything else. I could delete that now. I could just delete that all out. I could take this all out and just have a standard double track, because there's a double track all the way down here, and it's all the way down to the station, and after that we're just peeling off and going around the loop. So I don't need this jankiness anymore, and I will go and remove it at some point, just not right now. So that's what's happening. But what are we going to do about detailing this place? So let's talk about the logs, because the log is king for now. And not sure about timber. I mean, it's just a sawmill, So I'll have a think about that one. What else might you have at a sawmill? I'm just trying to think. Not really sure what you might have at a sawmill. So anyway, logs. Well, I mean, this is going to be simple-ish, isn't it? So we're going to want lots of trees, really. It's a shame we don't have cut down trees, because that would be great, wouldn't it? Imagine if we could have some cut down trees. That would be awesome. So what we want to do is we want to go with probably that brush, but I'm going to start with small brush sizes. What we want to do is we want to try and we might just go with the ballast is pretty good. The ballast is way down here at the back. So the ballast is pretty good. It's the stuff that is. Sorry, it's a bit loud. It's the stuff that's. It's not less loud when I go further away. It's the stuff that's under the train tracks. So we'll make that. I think I need this to be stronger because it's taking too long. So there we go. So we'll roll out some ballast. Let's have some ballast to fun. Yeah, noisy as noisy. Showing around there and up here, and we're just putting some jankiness into it. That's all. So you don't have to be perfect. In fact, the less perfect you are, the better, really. because you want to have it kind of, you know, look relatively organic, which is fine. Don't forget the other side of the road as well. That helps. Just put a little bit of something on the other side. You know, often helps to pull it out. So that'll do as a base. It's not quite right, is it? Because we have this brown that's around the edge of the road, and then we have the gravel, I think it is, which is part of the station. So what we need to do first is we need to find out what this brown is. What is this brown? Is that gravel brown? No, because it's not. Surely it's not dirt, is it? Oh, it is. It's a dirt. Okay. I might make the brush just a little smaller. Um, Unfortunately, you can't get rid of those things. I'm sorry to say, sad to report. So there's a bit of dirtiness going on. That's fine. We'll put a little bit of dirtiness into it. That's all right. Right, okay, so we've got a little bit of dirtiness into it, it's breaking it up a little bit. That's all right. I know it's a bit stucky around the edges, but that's okay. Right, what do we want to do next? I think we said we had the gravel, which is associated with the actual. I say it's a gravel. It's a kind of an asphalt, I think, isn't it? Or is it this gravel? That's part of the. Oh, it's this gravel here, so we could definitely pull some of that in. This is where we might have to, might have to bring this down a little bit. And then we can kind of soften the edges a touch. We've got a little, gonna have to strengthen it a little bit here. Right, just put it up a bit. So that might help some of this around some of these edge pieces to try and soften up these sharp lines. Because this doesn't quite go over where the edge of the asset is, which is a bit of a nuisance, but we're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. And the last thing we need is we obviously have these these platforms that are standing out. They're an asphalt. Is it this one? It is this one. Might just go down a touch on the brush size. So we want to kind of make these a little bit less crazy. And like I say, we still end up with some issues around the edges, which is kind of annoying. But we can certainly do a little bit to take the very regular squareness out of the situation. Some of it anyway. Doesn't like around there, obviously. And that unfortunately is the edge of the asset, which is why it's kind of standing out a little bit. Can add in a little bit of something down the side. Right, so we've got a bit of that going on, which is what it is. We'll try and soften some of this off. So what we're after now is there's another one here, which is grass gravel. Grass gravel is good if we load it up a little bit. We get a little bit of some odds and sods coming through, which makes it look a little bit especially around the edges. Kind of soften those edges a touch. There's another different grass one we can also use to soften the edges. Right, that's taking a bit of some of that off, which is fine. And what we will do is there's not the grass. There's like a forest floor. There it is, forest ground. I think it's that one, isn't it? Which is good for around some of the edge stuff. Just kind of little dabs, little dribs and drabs. Which is fine. There's alpine grass, which is also good. It's a little bit intense. Might have to take it easy with that one. It's probably sufficient. That's some more grasses and things. I think this is corn. The riverbed looks a bit weird. So that's about it really. So it takes some of the edges off, and we're going to plant this in trees. So a lot of this stuff you're not going to see, and this kind of, craziness and everything else kind of goes away. So that's fine. So that's that landscaping done. Assets wise, right? We need to have a look at trees. What trees have we got here? We have somewhere in here we've got sugar maples. That's these big suckers that you can see here. We have European lindens. That's these little ones right here. We have shingle oaks. Do we have a shingle oak in here? Yes, we do. We have one right there. We have Scots pine up at the top as well. Now then, what are we proposing that these people are harvesting? Are they harvesting a mix of woods? This is a mainly sugar maple. And you can see that there is some of those taller trees going through it. So do we want to go for sugar maple? In which case, for the sugar maple trees, we want a big brush size. And hopefully it'll become clear what I'm doing. We probably don't want 100% because 100% is pretty intense. We probably don't want it to be quite that big a size because that starts to get us into a little bit of trouble. So we can do this, and it's quite intense, right? But this is a forestry plantation, so we should expect an awful lot of trees. And in fact, this whole plantation is going up to this railway. So we're going to take this whole side and go a little bit wonky around there, and we're going to make this a whole plantation. We're going to make it look a little bit different, so it's not just a great big mass of trees. But that is what we're expecting, and there's like little cups of trees got soaked up in there. I'm okay with that. So there you go. That's some pretty intense forestry. And I have plans for over on this side. So I think what we'll do is I'll be prepared to accept that, because this will tie into this area over here, that how far down does the forestry block go? I think we'll say that the forestry block goes down to just about over here somewhere. So we can say that this is now the forestry block, right? And we'll do all of that, and we'll come all the way down the side there and all the way around there. Everything's kind of nestled into this great big block of forestry, right? And we have our station in there, and we can actually take some individual sugar maples and see if we can't dot those through here, right? And also because because we've seen them elsewhere in this place. What we want to do is we want to chuck a few of these suckers in around the edge, because they'll give it a little bit of feature, where we can anyway. The other way to do this obviously is you can set this as the tool, set up the brush size, and then it will randomize where it finds a space. So I'm just holding it down. So with any luck, as I'm dragging around where it finds a little bit of a space or something, especially to drag a little some down the edge over there, where it does that, we're getting some different style of trees, and they're hidden in here. It's quite dense, so but we do know there is this. So this will hopefully, where it finds a little spot and just adds in one or two. Doesn't have to be a bunch. Doesn't have to be that many. Kind of spilled over there. That's fine. That's okay. Right. So then we have stuff like little stuff through it, which is great. So this is our forestry. By gum, it's big, eh? But forestry is big. So what are we going to do? Because I did say we're going to do something else, because that's simple enough. What does forestry have through it? Forestry has forest access roads. I don't know if you know this, but forestry does have forest access roads. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some forest access roads in, and then we're going to take them out. So we're gonna put in a forest access road here, and this forest access road is going to go over there, and we're probably going to want to have, we could even argue that this hill is perhaps part of the forestry. So we could certainly have, a forest access road there and a forest access road there. That's fine. And we could have a forest access road coming down through here. You can actually take it all the way down to the waterfront, which might make some sense, right? And we're also, why not take this one all the way down to the waterfront as well? It doesn't matter, as long as this is relatively parallel, I think. That's pretty good. And then we'll have a road into the block over here, which is fine. And a road down into the block over here, because the forestry workers need to get around, right? So we have all these blocks in here, and then we're just going to delete them. Delete, because forestry roads are not made of asphalt. If you leave the stuff here on the rail, you end up with these crossings, which is great because they still stay there. So it looks like they do actually have crossings through them. Right, so there you go. So yeah, I mean, if only we had, some cut down trees, that would be good. But these forestry block roads, they're a little bit too green, aren't they? Forestry roads are not green. So what we want to do is we want to get something that's dirty. This is just straightforward soil. I think the brush size needs to be a little bit bigger. Let's have a look. And forestry access roads are dirty. So we'll just do this. And it comes in, you can see, and it's kind of mottled because of where it goes around the trees, because the trees have their own thing going with them. But that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Look, it adds more to the chaos, and that's what we want. Carry on straight up there. So we've got a couple of these access roads that are cut through the forestry. So there you go. So we got our big forestry block, which is doing its thing, which is all great. 170 million in the bank. Things are going crazy. Things are going crazy. Things are going crazy. We've got everything on slow. So you can see that there's a lot happening, and this map more so might be better suited to a hub somewhere in the middle. because you can see that we're bringing stuff over here and then shipping it over there. We're bringing stuff down here. We're moving stuff over there. So when we're crisscrossing across the map, is a better opportunity to have a look at a hub. The last map that I did didn't quite work for a hub because things were concentrated in corners. So we had oil at the bottom, we had logs at the top, we had everything else. This is not quite the same. So you can see how it might work, that we might be able to put some, like wheat and fish together. We might need to put, timber and coffee together. Whatever. There's opportunities to have a look at it and say, you know what, we could actually tidy things up a little bit and avoid a lot of this. There are a lot of trains around. Now, I can, of course, avoid that by just adding more lines. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do a complete rebuild. There's little bottlenecks like here. Well, that's great. I can remove that bottleneck by widening the bridge and putting in more tracks and putting in more of this and more of that. There's not that many trains going over this way. I wonder why. I wonder why they don't choose to go around other trains in the train station. So if there's a train here, pass through on the other side. I don't exactly know that because it's not in the routes. So if you have a look, where would it be? I think it's Uzanu logs. So if you have a look at Uzanu logs, for example, so the logs say up one side and down the other, pretty much. I mean that's what it says, and I can decide where at the stations it goes to in terms of terminals. I can say pick up at terminal 1. I can change that and say pick up at terminal 2. I can go back and say pick up at terminal 1. It doesn't really matter in terms of that. This is the same. Oh, can you switch? Yeah, sure. Of course you can switch. It doesn't really matter, but it doesn't change this. It doesn't change this problem. And this problem is that when they come through here, if there's a train in the way, they can move over to the other side and use the other side, but they don't seem to do that. I'm not really sure why. The signaling thing. So a path signal, it only works on this side. So I can't. If I put a path signal here, then it's also going to confuse the train that has to actually come in here, because it's also looking at the signal down there. Which is kind of crazy, and it starts messing around with platforms and stuff. So I don't know why I can't get it to just bypass through. And I don't think there's a setting here that allows it. It says select terminals for stops, which is fine. The Uzanu animals is coming in, they're taking out from different places. See, it doesn't even register that the logs are coming through here, and I can't make anything happen. So I don't know why they don't do that, and I don't know if there is a fix to that other than you just do a bypass. So if this is getting in the way, you just do a lane that shoots off to the side, or 2 lanes that shoot off to the side, and then you just put a waypoint on it, and you make that part of the map, and away it goes. I had to put a waypoint on one of these. I think it was this one up here, actually. It's here. I had to put waypoints here for this track because when I put this connection through, for some strange reason, best known to itself, the meat train decided that the fastest route was to actually go round this way and then down and then all the way back up here and then all the way back down again. I don't know why it did that, and I don't know what caused it to make that decision. But I put in a couple of waypoints over here and that soon stopped that. Maybe it's to do with the confusion of this area being crossed over rails, and it kind of thinks that this doesn't exist. I don't know, but like I said, I can fix that. Anyway, there we go. Logs. How's our log guy working out? What's he come in with? He's taken out not quite a full load. No, I want the train, not the... Yeah, so he's taking 107, could take 132. This one's coming in. This one's the one that can carry 88. I don't know if there'll be 88 when it gets there. Like I say, I will keep an eye on that and see how that goes. And then we will have a look at this. What about this one here? 81. Where's my train? That's not it. That's it. What do you carry? 77, 88. Looks like you can do 88. And how many's going to be here? About 88. Let's speed things up. Well, that's a good balance. There's going to be slightly more than 88. Things are going to change slightly, because I obviously then need to change that one. No, he's already more. He's already 90, 98. So in terms of getting this guy, well, yeah, he's already gonna need to be bigger, and I'm gonna see if I can make him even bigger still. So he's gonna go down here, and he's gonna want that, and he's, what did I say, 88? That's 110. So he'll probably not be full, which is fine, but he'll come in and he'll pick up somewhere between the two. 105, 5 short. Look at this! Ah, they're great. The containers are all different colors, and they're even slightly dinged up and rusty. Not half as dinged up as some of the containers I see going around the place. But great. Dinged up and rusty containers. Who's this guy? This is the meat guy. Oh, I did say I need to make him bigger. I need to wait for him to go back around again. Where's my other train? The timber train. That's the one that we want to have a look at. Who's the timber train? He's full of 88. He's full of 88 and he's left 42 behind. So he could definitely be bigger. So let's wait for him to come back and we'll make him bigger still. Hey, look, there goes one of our planes. How full is our plane? It's full. That's good. How much money is our plane making us? 139,000. Not a lot of money. But when it lands, it'll make a bit of money. Oh, there's a lot of people waiting. 31 people waiting. So we'll recognize the revenue on the plane when he deposits. Oh, for heaven's sakes! Right, goodness gracious me. Still, it's not a lot, is it? It's definitely an expensive way to travel. Anyway, you see there's another plane coming in already. So that will also pick up. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Right. This guy's coming back now, and we're still dropping off logs. 113. So this guy definitely needs to be at least 100. So let's crank him up so that he's at least trying to maximize stuff. 110? Let's make him 110. What have we got here? 121. What's the next one? 126? I think it might be actually. 132. Oh, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Because let's have a look. 131. That's not bad. He took 132. So he's taken all 132. Will there be 132 when he gets back? Because there's usually like a lag over, isn't there? So let's see. So we've drained it dry. So now we'll see, realistically speaking, although this has stopped producing because we've got all of our log trains imbalanced, out of sync. So this is not really a great tester because we're being held up. So our log trucks are being held up. I mean, in essence, it is kind of a tester because our log trucks are being held up. So then we want to try and average this out over time because there's no way. So he's just gone from being full to being empty because of the trucks being because of the logs being held up. So I reckon we go back to 88. go back to 88, and we just see, because there's going to be problems with this wood. Here comes more wood, more wood. How much wood is over there? 486. Heavens above. There's just so much wood. 480. What did we have? We got delayed by something. Obviously, 400. But I got 500 logs. And each one of these is. I cut these guys down in size because I was worried. I was worried we're going to be running them needlessly. But if there's 500, let's add another one. Because we can break that backlog for sure. And the other guy, he'll also want a 154. And then this guy, not sure we're going to need the full 154. We'll just do 110 for him. And then they'll carry on. And then this guy, by the time this guy comes back, yeah, it's 111 again, you see. So a bit of monkeying about. I'm okay with that. I don't mind. You know, I'm sure someone will go, oh, if you sit down and work it out mathematically, there's this production rate, that production rate. Yeah, okay. I'm a bit more fly by the seat of my pants kind of a guy. Sorry about that. I don't know the ratio of how these things produce. Like I said, pass. just a hard pass on it. Okay. Trial and error, empirical. I'm more empirical than theoretical, to be fair. So there you go. So somebody got held up somewhere by something. Yeah, he's happy to go through that way. Yeah, I don't think. I'm just trying to think if you could win. You know, when trying to get trains to pass each other in the station, is could you win by jiggering some stuff around here? But I don't think so. Anyway, I think that's it for this one. I'm going to cut this one here. So I've got a little bit of monkeying about to do, which is all perfectly okay and all right and fine. And there's some things here, and I got to do the usual. I got to go around and check everybody. It's been 6 years at least, so I got to check everybody's condition, check all my trains, check all my routes, check all my bus stops, check all my everything. And then when we come back, we'll have a look at something else. Hey, so they've got 2, food and fuel. They've got 1. They've got at least 1, but Tools is not a million miles away, possibly. They've got 1, but maybe could get 2. They've got only 1. So, yeah, maybe Rizzo needs a bit of love. Maybe we'll see you next time for a little Rizzo love. I do hope you like it. Do click the like button. Do subscribe to the channel. Do click the bell notification so you know when the next one is coming out. And I will see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now.